Hello, I'm Dr. Wingerden, and behind the camera, this is...
I'm Dr. Howard. Hello.
And we'd like to welcome you to Let's Read the Real Ghostbusters. Over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be reading a whole bunch of issues of the Real Ghostbusters comic released by Marvel UK back in the 80s. And to start with, for our first episode, we're going to be reading issue 1 of the Real Ghostbusters, which was released 32 years ago today.
Wait, but it's my birthday today as well.
So, yeah, the 26th of March, 1988, this comic was released. Did you get it for your birthday?
Yeah, actually, I saw it in the newsagent on my 11th birthday, and I was literally like having a meltdown in the shop because I thought it was just the most amazing thing ever. And I was going, Mum, please, please, Mum, please, Mum, it's only 38p, please, Mum, please, I love you forever, please, Mum. And she got it for me, and it was fortnightly to begin with, and then eventually it became weekly, and it was the best thing ever. I just loved it so much. I had so many issues. Don't know what happened to them in the end, but we've managed to collect quite a few of them, and we recently just got issue 1, didn't we? So that's like the cherry on the cake, getting issue 1.
Well then, let's get started.
And here we have the front cover of the very first issue of the Real Ghostbusters. And it's great because Marvel UK back in the 80s did a whole bunch of really fun comics. They did Care Bears, Thundercats, like G.I. Joe. They did loads of all the brilliant cartoons. So when this came out, it was really exciting. There was a free badge that came with this comic as well, which is obviously missing here. Some kid has torn that out. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so from the first page, we've got a little bit of a blurb with introduction to all the characters. Are you troubled by strange noises in the night? Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic? If the answer is yes, then don't wait another moment. Pick up the phone and call the professionals. The Real Ghostbusters. Congratulations, you are the proud owner of the latest and possibly greatest Marvel comic. They're not kidding. The Real Ghostbusters. Now and in the weeks to come, you can read the pulse-racing, spine-tingling adventures of your favourite supernatural sleuths in dazzling full colour. Except Egon's glasses, they forgot to colour those in. I always thought, Anyway, moving on. The Real Ghostbusters, dedicated professionals sworn to the entrapment and containment of anything and everything that goes bump in the night. If you've got poltergeist partying in your pantry or major demons manifesting in your master bedroom, rest assured your ghost is history. To celebrate this momentous first issue, we're giving away a fantastic free Real Ghostbusters badge, which you'll find attached to the front cover, an ectoplasmic delight for you to wear with pride. So at the top here, we've got Peter Venkman, Egon Spengler, Ray Stantz, Winston Zeddemore. I love that sort of, very serious expression on his face. I wonder what he's looking at. Janine Melnitz and Slimer. Okay. Dr. Wingerden, would you like to read the first comic?
Alrighty then. Oh my word, there's a ghost in my house.
Do you think?
Ghostbusters? This is Amelia Wainwright. 145 Thorpe Street. You've got to help me. Egon, you get all that? We got that fine, Janine. On our way now.
Oh, they must have just been coming from a bust in the first place then.
A few minutes later. I think this is the place. Crash. Right, let's get to work.
Okay.
Looks like the owner got more than she bargained for when she bought this house. Thank heavens you're here. Quick, it's causing chaos. I can't see it. Spectrovisors on. Quick, Ray.
Spectrovisors. Don't really use that terminology,
we
do we?
usually call them ectogoggles, but spectrovisors, I like that.
It's like an introduction to the equipment.
Yeah. Ah, I can see it now. But I'm not sure I want to. Peter, you flush the thing out and we'll wait here for you with the containment vessel.
Containment vessel. They're avoiding all the words there, aren't they, so far?
Yeah, very technical term for the ghost trap there.
Yeah,
containment vessel.
Very, very technical.
Yeah. Right, Egon. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, the Ghostbusters' ectoplasmic friend is helping himself to the fridge.
Hey.
Just in time for a quick snacky!
Do you know, it's nice to see Peter wearing ecto goggles. We never usually see him wear those.
Slimer, put that down, now! Never mind him, the ghost's heading back to Egon and Winston.
Ooh. Oh, he desperately needs a cup of tea.
It's back! Get it, now!
Oh, textbook.
You got it! Well done! Wah! This is unfair!
Oh.
Oh, that ghost is pretty upset.
Pretty upset. Oh, there's more.
Why didn't I get my bowl of cream just like I used to? What? Hey, this must be a Bugane, a house ghost. They're harmless if they're treated right. Of course, the old owners of this property must have known that, but never warned the new owner.
Oh.
Oh, the poor thing. I'll look after him. Quick, let it go. What?
Wow.
You let it go, or I'll have the law on you for cruelty to paranormal forces. Okay. Whoosh. I can see it now. What an adorable thing. My husband will simply love it. Let's go. Another day's work well done. The Busters head for home. I'll just never understand some people. Yeah, you're a pretty strange bunch to me, too. Shut up, Slimer.
Oh, see, they only put away naughty ghosts. They don't catch the nice ones. Oh, what a nice lady. She sure showed Peter, didn't she? And here is a little fact file on Peter Venkman himself.
Peter Venkman. Although Dr. Peter Venkman may often seem like the most reluctant member of the Ghostbusters, he is actually one of the keenest. He's a bit of a con man and prefers to avoid dangerous ghostbusting situations if it's at all possible. Peter has a special affection for food, and all too often this brings him into conflict with the Ghostbusters' resident spook, Slimer. However, when the chips are down, Peter stops larking around, and he's the one who takes the first steps towards confronting unknown menaces or troublesome spooks. When things go wrong, and sharp wits and fast talking are called for, Peter Venkman is your man. If you were to think of the Ghostbusters as being one body,
Peter would be the mouth. Yes.
Spengler's Spirit Guide.
Oh, I always look forward to this. You know, I used to practice. I used to sort of trace this image. I used to trace it over and over again so I could learn how to draw Egon. This was my base. I mean, look at that face. He looks so suave. He looks so smug. He's adorable. So this is supposed to be like Tobin's Spirit Guide, but written by Spengler. So it's about his own adventures as part of the Real Ghostbusters. These were always very funny. I shall read this one. Okay. Busting ghosts may look very easy, but to make it look easy, a real Ghostbuster has to be good, and he can only be good if he knows his subject. Be aware of your opposition. That's the first rule of busting, and in an effort to both record my own extensive knowledge of the paranormal and to try and educate the weaker-willed among us, mentioning no names, Peter, I have compiled this spirit guide, a comprehensive listing of ghostly facts, feats and features to help us know our foes. This issue, I'll begin with a basic list of the general names for ghosts, to get on to specifics in later issues. Take notes. I may run a short test sometime. Ghost, spook, shade, phantom are general terms for any spirit of the dead or monster or anything that cannot be naturally explained. I quote the opinion of my colleague Winston Zedmore. Ghosts may have special tasks to carry out, some to avenge a murder or to expose a villain, or to return something to its rightful owner. However, it is never the appointed task of a ghost to come back and do the washing up. Wraith, also known as a doppelganger, a fetch or a doppelganger. A wraith is the ghostly double of a person that appears shortly before or after their death. Sometimes the wraith appears to the doomed person as a warning, sometimes to other people to alert them to the death, and sometimes it is the very appearance of the wraith which causes the death. Ooh. Ray stance. The wraith offers a pretty good early warning system to the living, but someone ought to tell them not to appear without warning. Spectre apparition. Like ghost, these words are used for anything without material existence, but specifically describe a ghost whose task it is to bring a warning or an omen. Poltergeists, gremlins. Mischievous spirits that delight in causing havoc. Poltergeists are invisible, malicious spooks who are responsible for such startling phenomena as crockery or other household objects flying through the air, alarm clocks appearing out of nowhere, or spatulas turning up in your sock drawer. Gremlins get their kicks from wrecking mechanical objects. They are so ugly that it's a shame they're not invisible too. Demons, devils. Not so much ghosts as monsters. Indescribably nasty beings of every shape, size and colour. They are seriously bad news. Believe me, I quote my colleague Peter Venkman on this subject. Demons? What should you do if you meet one? Well, that's a tricky one. Demons are professionally dedicated to turning up in our dimension and giving people a bad time. My technique is generally to run in the other direction. The best place to see a demon is on television. Slimers. Well, I think with Slimers, the question is not so much what, but why. Never, ever let them near your fridge.
Right, time for the next comic. And this story is called Haunt Thy Neighbour. Janine, this is Lucy. I've got spooks. Get the Ghostbusters round here fast or there'll be trouble. The ghost alarm. That's for us. Let's hit the road. I'll be right there. Soon. We're on our way, Janine. What's the address? 77th and 5th. I think you know how to get there. 77 and 5th? Egon, that's next door. Yikes! Screech!
Which one was Slimer and which one was the car making that noise?
There must be a leak in the main containment unit. Ray, Winston, Peter, recapture the ghosts while I go and find the leak.
That's a nice picture of the proton pack.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, you! Get up here. There's a ghost in my bath. Yes, ma'am. Right away. I'll handle this one, guys. Looks like the most dangerous part of the job.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Ray. Let's follow the readings I'm getting from the basement. Meanwhile, in the basement of Ghostbusters HQ... Aha! We'll soon have this fixed. Next door... This ghost is history! Ooh! And he was such a well-mannered little doggy too. Yeah! Peter's in trouble! Let's get up there. Peter, is he... He's in the bath.
Uh-huh.
Problems, Peter? I got the ghost, didn't I? Help me up.
Oh, goodness. Nothing, no electric shocks then?
Do you think that's it? I think so. We'd better get back to HQ and see how Egon's making out. Soon. Good to see you. We nearly had a serious leak here. What was the problem? Well, it was a simple paranormal dysfracture of the temporal stasis unit. I administered a sonic weld a neutrino couldn't escape from. You mean you fixed it? Yes.
Oh, Egon, we love your technobabble. Oh, it seems like we have a missing page here.
Yes. So these comics they came with a page of equipment, like the proton packs, containment unit, that kind of stuff. And I think some kids that collected these comics, they would remove those pages and stick them together to make their own sort of Ghostbusters fact file.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, the kid who originally owned this comic clearly had a lot of love and kept a fact file. In fact, I got this from Facebook Marketplace, and it was the man that sold it to me. It was his comic, and yeah, he did say he kept them all in a folder. It's a shame he didn't sell me that too.
Oh, Winston's Diary: A Day in the Life of Winston Zedmore.
These feature in every issue, don't they?
I think so. Tuesday, 15th of March, 1988. A hero's work is never done. Woken up around 6 in answer to a call. We'd been up all night chasing the ghosts of 6 cinema cowboys around a drive-in movie in Maine. Managed to get about 2 hours sleep. I had a dream about stalking a real nasty spook around the supermarket. But when I caught up with it, my proton gun would only shoot chocolate ice cream, which wasn't much use. And the
yummy.
monster came towards me, eating the ice cream, and saying, "You're in serious trouble here, Winston. You're working too hard." Pretty nasty. Anyway, the call this time was from a woman in Yonkers who claimed there were voices coming from her fish tank. We stopped on the interstate so Ray could change a tyre on Ecto 1. We stopped on the East River Bridge so Egon could collect fungus samples from the girders. We stopped at Yankee Billy's all-night eatery Pies Our Specialty so that Peter could buy 6 apple turnovers and a chicken and spinach sandwich.
Yummy. 6 though?
Yeah. I thought about stopping a little further on so that I could be sick, but made it to the client's house. The client was an old lady in a dressing gown who told us she was woken up at 5 by voices that she traced to a fish tank. She was clearly frightened. Peter told her that she was fully protected by the Real Ghostbusters and that her ghost was history. But due to the lasting effects of the apple turnovers, he was largely misunderstood by the old lady, who replied that she thought it might rain later. Egon and I then took things into our own hands and pressed on to the fish tank. Low PKE readings, but we prepared for the worst. Definite voice or voices. Indistinct, real spooky. The fish didn't look too bothered though. Ray joined us, keen to catch what he called a fully submerged aquatic apparition.
Ooh.
And he zapped the tank with his proton gun, which had the result of covering him in fish food and coral pieces.
Ooh.
Egon tried lowering a ghost trap into the tank to lure the ghost out. I turned off the transistor radio, sitting by the fish tank, and the voices stopped.
Oh, no.
It was just a radio.
Oh, dear.
Mid-morning found us in Lower Manhattan, where a rock star complained that his apartment was being disturbed by strange noises. The apartment was newly decorated and equipped. Egon took PKE readings in all the rooms. Ray spectroscoped the walls and balcony.
Ooh, spectroscoped.
Peter explained that he must carefully examine the rock star's expensive hi-fi and video in case the ghost was lurking there. We all heard weird noises, groans and whines. I bled the air bubbles from the newly installed radiators and the noises stopped.
Seems like they're doing quite a bit of DIY more than anything else.
Yes, yeah, it was just air trapped in the radiator. No ghost. After a quick lunch, we took a trip to a house in the Bronx with poltergeist problems. There have been regular disturbances of crockery smashing in the kitchen, pictures falling off walls, and the like. Egon and Ray did a PKE survey of the rooms and drew out the architect's plans for any historical clue. Peter sampled the fridge contents, particularly the cream cheese and the fish paste, to see if the poltergeist was food motivated. I went out for a look around and then came back in to tell the guys that the disturbances matched the spin cycles of the industrial washing machines in the laundromat next door.
Oh, dear me.
Right, so when the washing machines were spinning, the shaking was causing things to smash and pictures to fall off the walls.
Peter's getting well fed, though, at least.
During the early evening, we were called to a mini-market in New Jersey, where noises and vibrations had been heard and felt. There was a spooky, silent atmosphere. We looked around a bit. Egon and Ray tried to decide whether to do a PKE survey or use the spectroscopes. We began to hear noises. Peter said he'd look for a transistor radio. Then vibrations began. Egon went to see if there was a laundromat next door. I pointed out the green thing with rubbery arms writhing up out of the frozen veg racks, and Ray said he was going to bleed the radiators.
What?
Right, so all the other Ghostbusters are now convinced it's going to be radiators or washing machines or radios, and this time it really is a ghost. The ghost was about 8 feet high, grotesque, wrapped in a sickly vapour, and had a couple of limbs too many. It howled and slithered towards us in a mass of chill fresh peas and individual chicken portions. I caught it in a proton stream, but it nearly struggled free until Ray netted it with his own proton gun, and together we brought the screaming monster down into a trap.
Yay!
We got home around 10, very hungry, but Slimer had emptied our own fridge. None of us fancied the frozen food Peter had brought back from the mini-market. We got to bed at 11, only to be woken up at 11:21 by a call from Greenwich Village. A waitress reported a 20-foot-high ghost of a mad barman running riot in a nightclub. We went to Greenwich Village and found that she was telling the truth. A hero's work is never done.
Wow. An interesting week.
Yes.
Do you know what a group of Slimers is called?
I don't know. What is a group of Slimers called?
An empty fridge of Slimers.
Very good.
Oh ho! We've come across our first advert. So, who remembers Visionaries? So, we watched this recently, didn't we? Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. This was a really cool cartoon. I think it only did like one series, but it was mainly to promote a line of toys. So holograms were a brand new thing in the 80s. You can see the holograms on these guys' chests here. So you got these action figures which had these cool holograms on the front of them. And we watched a series recently, didn't we? And it was pretty good, actually.
Yes.
It was like sort of King Arthur type. They even
Knights
spoke
of the Round Table.
medieval.
Yes,
They spoke medieval. They had magic and technology.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. So looks like Marvel UK did Visionaries too.
Now, here, in any other issue of the comic, there would be a letters page where people could write into the comic, and Peter would answer people's questions.
Oh.
But of course, this being the very first issue, it doesn't have any letters. Instead, it's Peter asking people to write in.
Yeah. Ask your parents if they wrote into the Real Ghostbusters comic. I've come across one or two people on our travels that did actually write in to the comic, so that's pretty cool. I was used to like looking out for letters that were addressed from the sort of my hometown, so it made it feel a little bit more real if there were like real kids from my hometown that were writing in.
Let's see what Peter's got to say. Busting makes me feel good. Well, it makes me feel okay. It also makes me feel tired, confused, edgy, and unloved. What really makes me feel good is a letter from my fans, telling me what a fun, together, admirable, heroic guy I am. You could even mention the others if you like. Tell us what stories you particularly liked. Ask our expert opinion on the paranormal. Or pick up tips from me about how to be so cool you could keep ice cream in my pocket for a month. So write and cheer me up as soon as possible at this address.
Yay.
Ghostwriters, Marvel Comics Limited.
It must have been so much fun receiving those letters.
I'll expect a letter or two soon.
Oh,
that's a good one. I'm
that
going to
is a
remember that
good
one.
one.
I'm going to remember
That's
that
a
one.
good pun.
Yeah.
Oh, we love our puns, don't
Yes. And here's a little thing here about, subscribing to the magazine, giving this little coupon to your newsagent, and so that they know to keep an issue of the Real Ghostbusters for you, so it doesn't sell out to other people.
Yeah, there are some of these comics that we have, maybe one or two, that have actually got a surname scribbled on the front of them.
Yeah, someone
have one or
subscribed,
two.
and the newsagent wrote that person's name on
Yeah,
there.
I used to have a paper round as well, but I never got to deliver this comic. Oh, that would have been cool. Okay, next comic adventure.
The Ghost Under the Hood. The end of another busy ghostbusting night. Come on, Egon. It's dawn already. We should have been home hours ago. Hey, guys. What is it now, Ray? Well, is this the right way home?
Oh.
No, it isn't. Typical. It's not my fault, Peter. I can't turn the wheel.
Well, mention it just now. You weren't mentioning this, when this first started happening. I don't know.
I can't stop either. I think Ecto-1 is haunted. There's a big truck coming towards them.
Whoops.
We're in serious trouble here. Wah! Crunch!
Haulage! That wasn't a sound effect, was it?
That's just writing on the side of the truck.
Haulage!
Winston, secure that equipment. Will do. Egon, watch out for those kids. Don't tell me. Tell whatever's driving.
Oops.
Crunch. Peter, your window's open. Climb out and trap the ghost. Me? But it must be under the hood. Off you go.
Oh.
I'll get you for this, Spengler. Can't turn the page.
There we go.
Whoa! Hey, I think we're stopping. Scream! Thump! Yeah, we've stopped. Peter went flying off the car. And
Oopsie-daisy.
Suddenly, the car suddenly screeched to a stop, so Peter went flying.
Yeah, you can just see his boot there.
You okay, Peter? No, thanks to that pool of ecto-slime, yeah.
Oh, was he saved by slime?
Oh, it was Slimer that did it!
No!
Slimer was under the hood of the car, messing with the car. Slimer! What made you pull a full stunt like that? Foodie! Breakfast! Stupid question, really.
Do you know, I think I've made that exact noise. I think I've said that exact phrase many times. Like, foodie! When you're hungry. What can you do?
Yeah, that is
Slimer.
pretty shocking. That
That's
Slimer took control of the car
just so he could go to the Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, that's wow.
I think if Slimer did that to us, I think that would he would be in the ecto containment unit for like a week or two.
Yeah, we'd have to
put him in the
bust
slammer.
That's some serious punishment for nearly crashing the car and
nearly killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, just to get some breakfast.
Wow, they're very, very, very lenient with Slimer, aren't they? Actually, consider him. Here we are on the last page.
Yeah, and it's an advertisement for some for Ghostbusters toys.
Cool,
and,
a kite.
Yeah, if you were to buy any of these figures of the
Oh,
Ghostbusters,
look at these classic figures.
then you would get a kite and a poster and a guide.
That's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, these toys were done by Kenner back in the 80s.
They were.
Kenner figures, and they're actually re-releasing them now. Kenner was taken over by
it says
Hasbro.
Kenner.
And Hasbro are going to be re-releasing these figures.
Yeah, exactly how they are
Yeah.
here.
So-
Exact same.
Yeah, so yeah, ask your parents if they had these toys. They had these Ghostbusters action figures. But if you could actually get hold of, they're going to be back in the shops. There's going to be a chance to buy these all over again.
Oh, there's more. There's more on the back page.
It's the preview. Next issue. Driven by demons.
Hard Day's Fright.
In 14 days.
Yeah, because these comics were every 2 weeks to begin with.
Yes. And we've got a little funny comic strip at the end. Blimey, it's Slimer.
That's a very, very English way of blimey, it's Slimer.
Yeah, so although the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters are American and in New York, this is a Marvel UK comic. It's a British comic.
So written and drawn and conceptualized by a British team.
Yeah. So this
has a bit of a British slant on it.
Yeah, especially these Blimey at Slimer comics. They're Slimer visiting Britain.
That is pretty cool.
So Slimer is on one of his travels. Britain at last! Time for something to eat!
Can you do a better Slimer voice than that?
Britain at last! Time for something to eat! Of course, he goes into a fish and chips shop.
Well, where else would he go? Isn't it funny that they look like characters from the Beano?
Yeah, they look a bit like the Bash Street Kids.
I'm sure that's intentional.
Yeah, that's got to be on purpose. I'd like... Take it and go! Funny, that certainly didn't look like a fast food joint.
Oh, that's great. Now, there's one thing we have not done. We have not credited the original artist down here. So, story written by John Freeman, art by Anthony Williams and Dave Harwood, lettering by Bambos, and colouring by Steve Wright. So, these guys were amazing. Let's see if there are any other names through here. Brian Williamson, Dave Harwood, Helen Stone, Stuart Place. Brilliant team and really, really well put together, don't you think?
Yes, yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Andy Lanning, Dan Abnett. Fantastic dedicated team that put together a fantastic comic. You just don't get comics like this anymore. A guy called Paul Jacks, Gordon Robson, Dave Hine. Quite a big team. Yeah, fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this issue of The Real Ghostbusters. That was issue 1. And do be sure to join us next time for another issue of The Real Ghostbusters. Goodbye.
Bye.